Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about the importance of always assuming the best. You know how people often say, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best? Well, there's a lot of merit to that because if you prepare for the worst, well, now you're going to be prepared in case things go bad. But the key part here is actually hoping for the best. And I'll take that a step further and say you should assume the best. Assume that it's going to work out in your favor. The reason why is because I've just found in my own life there's something kind of interesting about positivity, optimism, where it seems like when you truly expect things to work out the way that you want them to, it's almost like it helps things work out in the way that you anticipated. There's something to that. And since I don't really want to get too woo-woo here because there's no real way of proving energetic concepts, I'll go and kind of relate it more to psychology because that's something that I know for certain we can actually verify. So I found that when you assume things are going to work out the best, it affects two things. It affects, one, you and your behavior, and two, it affects other people. So when you assume the best, it's going to make you be more optimistic with your actions. You're going to believe things are going to work out in your favor, so you'll be more likely to take risks, to take action towards the outcome you desire. For instance, a guy who wants to get a date with a woman, if he is optimistic and assumes the best, meaning he assumes that the woman will say yes to his date, then he's going to ask her out on a date. Whereas if a guy is kind of hesitant or he's a bit more pessimistic and he believes that women don't like him, therefore he's not even going to bother asking that woman out on a date because he's just going to assume that she'll say no. You see what I mean here? That's very powerful. The more that you assume the best, you're going to take action towards the life you desire. And that is far better than immediately self-rejecting and thinking that you aren't going to get what you want, so then you won't even bother trying. Now, let's talk about that second aspect, the way it affects other people. I'll go back to the date example as well. So when you're optimistic, it's going to rub off on other people. It'll make you come off more confident, like you truly know what you're doing because you're already assuming things are going to work out in your favor. So in the example of the guy approaching a woman to ask her out, if he is assuming the best, that's going to rub off on her. She's going to think, oh wow, this guy is very confident. He seems to know something, or he just knows that I will probably find him attractive, or I'll find his energy attractive, whatever it may be. And that's likely going to affect her willingness to say yes to going out on a date with him. But if a guy is pessimistic, if he doesn't believe in himself, women will pick up on that, and they'll notice that when he goes to approach her as well, if he even musters the courage to do that, because he likely won't, going off what I already said earlier. But if somehow he approaches her, she's going to notice his pessimism, because he'll be self-rejecting in just so many different ways. For one, he probably won't have confident posture because he's afraid she's going to say no, and he'll also phrase his sentences and even his questions in ways where he kind of anticipates rejection, because in a way he'll almost be wanting to be rejected because it's already what he believes is going to happen. So he'll be kind of leading things in that outcome just in a way where it doesn't hurt as much. So where a confident man may say, hey look, I would love to get to know you better. Let's go to a coffee shop for coffee and tea on this date. I'll see you there and things will be great. Where a confident man may talk like that, a pessimistic man may say something more along the lines of, hey, I find you attractive. Would you by any chance be willing to go out with me on this day, on this time? Or he may be even more kind of nervous in that and not even know a day or a time, because that's usually something more confident guys will have in mind. So he may just say, when are you available? What's your schedule like? And basically he's putting the ball in her court. Whereas a confident man, since he's assuming the best, he's going to have the ball in his court and basically just tell her, hey look, I'm going to be doing this thing on this date, you should join me. He's inviting her to join him. Whereas the pessimistic guy is going to be kind of putting the ball in her court and more so kind of wanting her to lead the interaction, to lead the date. And that's going to make him come off very unattractive. So I know these are very specific examples, but they highlight this concept that I'm talking about, at least the psychological side, about how when you assume the best, it just kind of makes things work out better because you'll be more willing to take action and to take risks to get what you want, but also it'll affect other people's willingness to help you get what you want. Another great example here would be job interviews. If you go into a job interview assuming you'll get the job, you'll be a lot more confident, you'll probably be a lot more friendly and talkative to the interviewer, and you'll just have a better connection and a better interview with them. Whereas if you go in pessimistic, believing you're not going to get it, they're going to notice that because it's going to make you come off unconfident, your body posture will be off, you'll probably be stumbling over your words, and they'll notice that as well and probably potentially overlook you because of it if you don't have stellar qualifications for it. So there you go. That's basically the easiest way that I can highlight how it's important that you assume the best in life. There's just something special about how it makes things work out. And I already went over the psychological part, but there's some other aspect to it that I can't quite quantify that's really interesting. I don't know what it involves, but I just like to say it's almost like the universe conspires in your favor. But since I can't prove any of that kind of, I don't even know what to call it. Since I can't prove any of that, that's why I delved into psychology, which is something everyone can understand. So hopefully from the psychology alone, you realize why you should adopt this behavior, this habit in your own life. So that's all I have for you guys today, but I hope you enjoyed this one. And the easiest way you can support me is just to like, comment, and share. Let me know your thoughts on this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.